I'm 34 years old, 35 years old this year, and 8 months ago I left the UK once again, walked away from the rat race, walked out of my cushy carpentry job, left the UK once again to try and change my life, but it didn't go exactly to plan. Now, before I say anything else, I just want to say that there is nothing wrong with working in construction. I know a lot of people that actually really enjoy their jobs in construction. I know a lot of people that absolutely hate their jobs in construction. And I know a lot of people have built great lives from construction. But for me personally, it was never the life that I actually wanted to do or the work life that I wanted to carry on with. And I just never felt aligned within my job. So why did I do it? Why did I just put down the tools one day and just say enough is enough? Now, before I say this as well, I appreciate everyone is in different situations. You know, some people got to do their jobs. They got mortgages to pay for, kids to pay for. Me personally, at my age even now, I've got no mortgage, no kids, and I've always been a nomad. I've lived in so many different places. I've travelled so much and I've always worked hard for what I've done. But when I was 17, I dropped out of college, went straight into construction trade, left my family home at just turning 18 or just before 18. And from there, I just worked, travelled, worked, but I never felt aligned because I was always bound by this job that was bringing me back to the UK. My construction job, something I've actually never felt aligned with, something I've never been fully happy with. And there's so many reasons for that, but I'll keep this short and sweet. Now, first of all, we're just going to talk about the money, and I'm just going to break it down really quickly as a carpenter. Now, £200 a day sounds good, doesn't it? You know, £200 a day, that is, to me, good money. But then, first of all, you have the tax man take his bit, 20%. You know, that is what it is. Can't control that. That's the way of the world. So that brings it down to £160. And then for me as a self-employed person on day rate normally, then we have the fuel expense. So that could be anywhere between £10 to £15 per day. Then we have all our insurances that we pay for. So my car insurance, whatever insurance, my liability insurance, everything else. Then we have tool repairs, tool bits, blades, bits that we need, drill bits, router bits, you name it. Everything in carpentry, you need so much and it all costs a lot of money now. Then you have parking tickets and everything else you want to possibly add on that you could pay for in a day. All your car repairs. By that time, you're probably only earning around about £120 a day, if you're lucky. Grafting your nut off, busting your balls every single day. Normally doing Saturdays every single weekend. Just to make the money or save up for the things that you want to do. Dusty environments and what you see as carpentry, and whether this goes to carpenters, but this is to relate to all trades. Many trades will be able to relate. You think it all sounds nice. You're signed up for a nice bit of woodwork, but most of the time you're doing rubbish jobs, as me, always moving company to company to company because I was never satisfied. Always getting the rubbish jobs. I mean, I've done good jobs, but dusty environments, pulling out insulation, covered in crap all day. And you're like, what am I doing? You know, that's how I started to feel. On top of not feeling aligned, not feeling happy, and actually not loving the position. Just you think to yourself, what am I doing this for? You know, but it's hard to figure out what you can do and what risks you can possibly take or how much risks you're willing to take. But that was the money side of it for me. Then on top of that, the money side, then we have the rising costs of the UK. And as a lot of construction workers will understand, and workers in general, the money stayed exactly the same rates. And if anything, for construction workers, the prices have got lower. So you're busting yourself 10 times harder for lower money, but everything else is rising. So nothing makes sense. But we all know this, and I don't really need to get into that because we all see how the UK is now. But it's crazy. And then the work side in construction, you know, it's hard work. You know, I'm happy. I've always been a grafter. I grafted my nut off. But as we've said about the money, you got to think, is it worth it? You know, is it worth it? You're normally getting bossed around told what to do, which is something, to be honest, I've never been good at. And it's normally been a lot of reasons why I've ended up just walking out of companies, having to start again. Honestly, I've done it so many times. It becomes draining. And often in carpentry or construction trades, you get promised the world as a subcontractor. You're like, you got this job coming up, that job coming up. And you end up doing some really good work for them, finishing, oh, sorry, mate, you know what, we're coming a bit low now. And then you've got to restart all over again. And then you're just like, oh my God, you know. It's soul destroying at times, and many construction workers will be able to relate of these cycles that we go through as subcontractors. You always think you're safe, but most of the time you're on edge still, most of the time. And for what you get money-wise and what you get out of it work-wise, it doesn't feel worth it. I don't know how you feel about it. And then we have my lifestyle. As a nomad and someone that discovered traveling quite early on in my early 20s, I went away for 1 month. I ended up staying away for 4 years, tried many of things, taught English in Asia for years. I worked in Australia in construction, and that gave me my blueprint for what I wanted in life. And now it's got to the point where I want something different, but I'll tell you that later on in the video. But I'm someone who just never feels settled. And it's a big reason why I haven't settled down with a family and stuff like that, because I'm not exactly where I want to be. So I don't feel ready. I still don't feel ready. I'm still trying to work things out, but we are getting there. Now, I'll just tell you my last day of when I actually dropped the tools. Now, I was doing a bit of skirting. Now, I was doing a lot of bad things as well at that point. I was using things to escape on the weekends and escape from my life, getting myself in an absolute hole. Mindset was all over the place. And on my last day, I was doing a bit of skirting, tapping it in. And I was just crying. I was that unhappy in life with everything that was going on, all the habits that I had consumed over the years, doing this bit of skirting. And my boss came up to me and he said, "You're done, ain't you? You're done." And that was it. I was done. I packed up my tools that day, 9 months ago, whenever it was, and I walked out. And that was the last day I was in work. And I booked a flight. Once again, ran away, went away on a big venture. I tried to plan the venture, but definitely didn't do as much plan as what I should have done. Definitely didn't practice the things as much as what I should have done. But I went away on this venture and I left the UK again. I tried so many different things online. Some worked, some didn't. And from all of it, from all the failures and all the wins, I've now got to this point where I've had to come back to the UK. And that's where I am right now, back in the UK. I'm not working currently. I'm doing a few days with a landscape gardener while I'm trying to build. And this is the new channel that I'm starting now. And my name's Ash, by the way, if you've made it this far in the video. And we're on a hell of a journey. And everything's all compounding now. I've learned a lot from my failures, my online failures. And I've learned a lot from the small wins that I've had through this period. But there's one thing I can say when you're going on journeys like this, they're not easy. And if you start them as this is going to be easy, which is what I done when I initially left, I thought that I'd have, or I thought I had everything worked out. I didn't. And I've been through lots of failures, and that's okay. But where I'm at right now, I'm constructing so many different things. I've actually just recently launched a website for a business, an online business, which I'm currently working on. I'm now setting up a new YouTube channel with this journey on, escapism, rebuilding, a journey, which many of us are on. And I'm sure many of people will be able to relate to this story. And we're still going strong. But the business I'm currently doing, which I'm going to tell in future vlogs over the next 5, 6 videos of all the things that I'm setting up, I'm hoping all this will work, but you never really truly know. You don't know if it's going to work. But one thing for sure, the online world is starting to make a lot more sense to me. Everything's compounding. All the skills that I have learned over this period are all starting to make sense. And we'll see how we go from now. And I'll just quickly tell you my end goal and where I want to take this channel. This is a channel now of a journey, both a journey of me trying to hopefully inspire and help people along my journey, people who are in the same position or wondering whether things can be done, because it's really hard. Life is really hard. And I'm hoping I can share my journeys and my wins and my failures as we go on with this channel. And hopefully I get to where I want to be. I am looking at leaving the UK again, hopefully within 6 months to a year from now. I'm going to travel again, go to a few different areas, take this channel with me, go through all the learning periods with you guys, and eventually hopefully get to my end goal. Maybe in 5-6 years down the line, a little plot of land which I want to use all my building skills and build an eco house, a little mini home, hopefully with a few dogs and a base for me to travel from and enjoy. And hopefully I've got things set up online. The businesses that I have now, the ideas of, I'm hoping I'll be further along with hopefully a lot more branches in the equation as well, because the online world, which is what I'm learning, is it's really not easy, but there's so many branches you can link together. And this is what I'm trying to compound right now. So there's going to be a vlog every single week, maybe 2, maybe 3. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to be putting a lot of work to this channel. So if you want to join, subscribe, come and join me on the journey, and we'll see how we go. But there's one thing for sure, I'm not quitting, because I refuse to go back to the rat race. I refuse it, but we'll see how we go. And we can only dream and be delusional in this world. Delusion equals dreams. So we'll see how we go. But anyways, I'm going to end this first vlog here. Join me if you want to, and I'd really appreciate it.